Dear students, in the third lesson, we have been dealing with uh, knowing something about India's climate. Of course, we began the lesson with uh, differentiating between what we mean by weather and what is climate, and we also studied something about different factors that control the climate. Now, we will study something about four seasons. So unlike any other country, in our country we have these four season, important season: summer, uh, rains, that's monsoon we call, and then autumn that follows, that follows monsoon season, rainy season, and then we have winter season. Okay, now we will begin with the summer season. Okay, now before we study about these seasons, one thing that we should understand is that our country is blessed with different kinds of seasons. These four seasons we have: summer, we experience summer, we experience monsoon, rainy season. When we experience autumn, we experience winter season, unlike any other country in the world. Having this as a background, we will move on to study about the summer season. Mostly in our country, the summer season falls between the month of March and May, in India. Now, what happens? We see that in the month of March, the sun ray. In the last section we studied the sun ray. You see here in the picture, the sun rays falls directly upon the equator. Okay, but what happens slowly within a month? Slowly the sun's ray turn towards the Tropic of Cancer. So the Tropic of Cancer passes through here, and then this is the Tropic Equator region, and here the Tropic of Capricorn. So what happens when the sun's ray falls directly upon the Tropic of Cancer that divides our country into North and South India, and then we begin to feel the heat of the summer that happens on the 21st of June. So what happens? So from this month onwards, since it's very hot, the air pressure becomes very low. Okay, so we have low air pressure, because if it's very hot, we already studied in the previous section, if it's very hot, then the heat actually, it's like, it eats away all the air, and therefore the air pressure becomes very low. So what happens when the air pressure becomes very low, and then the place where the air pressure is high, okay, so from there the wind starts blowing towards the low pressure area. So in the last section you would have studied in the video presentation how the wind jumps from high pressure, which is a cold, if it is very cold, then the air pressure becomes very high, from high pressure to the low pressure. So when the sun's ray is directly falling upon the equator, the Tropic of Cancer, so what happens? Now we have the wind blowing from the western direction. So you see here in the map, the wind starts blowing from the western direction. So what happens when the wind starts blow from the western direction, at this time here the Arabian Sea experiences high pressure, and the Indian Ocean experiences high pressure. Okay, and here we have high pressure. So here we have low pressure because of the sun's ray that falls directly upon, you see, the Tropic of Cancer. Okay, the sun's ray that falls upon the Tropic of Cancer, thus creating a low pressure. So what happens now? We have the westerly wind that comes from the western part, and then that blows across India, the northern India. This wind is a very dangerous wind. This wind is what we call as Lu. Okay, you would see there, this wind is what we call as Lu. So this wind is one of the very dangerous wind. It passes through the desert, okay, the mountain ranges, and it's very dry, creating a kind of very bad summer for the northern part of India. So many people die because of the humidity of this wind. Now what happens when this wind meets a cold wind at this region? So we have thunderstorm, and then raining also we have. So sometimes we also have the hailstorm. So that is why the during the summer season, now and then we have rain because of this phenomena. Okay, so that is all about the summer. Now we will move on to talk about the rains, monsoon season, in the next video. Thank you.